Heartbeat by David Yoo. My nickname's Heartbeat because my friends swear that you can actually see the pulse on my bare chest. I've always been skinny. Everyone assumes I'm a weakling because I'm so thin. I prefer lean and mean or wiry, despite being a three-sport athlete. I decided to do something about it this fall when Sarah, the girl I have a crush on, said, "Oh my gosh, you are so skinny." She was visibly repulsed by my sunken chest as I stepped off the soccer bus after practice. I silently vowed to do everything within my power to become the after picture. I was 16 years old but looked like I was 11. For the rest of fall, I did countless push-ups and curled free weights until I couldn't bend my arms. I got ridiculously strong and defined, but I wasn't gaining weight. I wanted to be thicker. I didn't care about getting stronger if nobody could tell. I did research and started lifting heavier weights at lower reps and supplemented my meals with weight gainer shakes, egg whites, boiled yams, and tubs of cottage cheese. I forced myself to swallow the daily caloric intake equivalent of 3 overweight men and still wasn't able to increase my mass. I have ridiculously fast metabolism. Over Christmas break, I cut out all useless movement like ping pong and staircases because I'm like a sieve. The 83 calories in a mini Snickers bar is moot because I would waste 90 chewing it. I returned to school in January depressed because I was still heartbeat in everyone's eyes. I constantly weighed myself at least once an hour. No matter where I was, I'd find a bathroom so I could take off my shirt and flex in the mirror for a couple of minutes. I was so frustrated that nothing was working. But the frustration didn't last. I was sitting in study hall 2 weeks ago when Sarah said the magic words, "Have you been working out, Dave? You look bigger." I couldn't tell if she was being sarcastic. I went home and inspected myself in the mirror. I did look bigger. But then I realized the reason. I'd accidentally worn 2 t-shirts under my rugby shirt that day. It was just an illusion. I was futilely stuffing my face and religiously pumping iron and failing to alter my appearance, and now I'd stumbled on the simplest solution to looking bigger. I felt like I was reborn. I went to school the next day wearing 2 t-shirts under my turtleneck. I felt solid. By the end of last week, I was wearing 3 t-shirts under my rugby shirt. This Monday, I tucked 4 t-shirts under my plaid button-down. It gave me traps that didn't exist. My Q-tip-sized shoulders transformed into NBA grapefruit deltoids. I could tell my classmates subtly regarded me differently. It was respect. Sarah gave me a look I'd never seen before, as if she felt safer around me. I was walking down the hallway at the end of the day and must have twisted awkwardly because suddenly my zipper literally exploded and all my t-shirts spilled out of my pants. Luckily, the hallway was empty and I was wearing a belt. I realized I'd artificially outgrown my clothes. My button-downs were so tight that a few seconds after jamming the extra layers into my pants, the pressure would suddenly bunch the cloth up in random places so it looked like I had a goiter on my shoulder or something. I complained to my parents over dinner last night. "I don't fit into anything anymore," I said. "It reflects poorly on you guys. You could get arrested." "What are you talking about? You look the same as always. You're still my little boy," my dad replied, putting me in a headlock and giving me a noogie. I glared at him. "I need a new ski jacket," I said, and it was true. I could barely clap my hands with all the layers I was wearing. I was getting out of control at this point. The 4 t-shirts under my wool sweater were smushing my lungs together like a male girdle. It was a small price to pay. Nobody called me Heartbeat anymore, I reminded myself. After dinner, I went to a party. Even though it was winter, I opted to hang out on the back porch as much as possible because it was so hot inside. Being indoors was like a sauna, but Sarah was in the basement, so I headed that way. We were talking, and she noticed that I was dripping with perspiration. "You're trembling," she said, touching my shoulder. She thought I was nervous talking to her and probably thought it was cute, but in reality, I was on the verge of passing out because I was wearing 4 tight t-shirts and 2 long sleeves under my wool sweater, not to mention the sweatpants tucked into my tube socks to add heft to my formerly chicken legs, quads. She squeezed my biceps. "Geez, Dave, how many layers are you wearing?" I couldn't even feel her squeezing them. "I have to go," I said, excusing myself to another corner of the basement. Everyone was smushed together. It was so hot, everyone except me was hanging out in t-shirts and tank tops. I was sopping and delirious and felt claustrophobic. My chest was cold because I had 4 drenched t-shirts underneath my sweater. It looked like I was breaking out with Ebola or something. When I coughed, people turned away from me in fear. "Abandon ship! Abandon ship!" I had no choice but to take off some layers. I lurched to the bathroom. My arms were ponderously heavy as I pulled off the sweater. Just lifting my arms exhausted me, and I had to stop midway and take a rest by sitting on the edge of the tub, gasping. I slowly peeled off the layers, one at a time. I took off my pants and peeled off my sweatpants too, down to my undies. I dried myself off with a washcloth. My red t-shirt had bled onto the 3 white tees because of the sweat, so they now were faded pink tie-dyes. I hoisted the bundle of clothes and was shocked at the weight. I jammed them into the closet. I'd retrieve them later before I left. I put my sweater back on without anything underneath, and after 2 weeks of constricting my air supply and range of motion by wearing upwards of 6 layers, I was amazed at how much freedom I had with my arms. I felt like dancing for the first time in my life, and I suddenly realized what I really looked like at this party, a padded, miserable, and frustrated puffball burning up in all my layers. All this because I hated my nickname. I got home and realized I'd left my bundle of wet clothes back at the party. I took this as a sign. My days of wearing extra layers was officially over. Had Sarah fallen for the padded me, she'd be falling for someone else. Besides, winter wasn't going to last forever, and I couldn't just revert back to wearing just one set of clothes like a normal human being come spring. The change in my outward appearance would be the equivalent of a sheared sheep. From now on, I was going to just be me. That was last night. I'm not disgustingly thin. I'm constantly reminding myself. I am wiry, I'm lean, and mean. Outside, it's snowing again. There's a party tonight, and my friends are on their way to pick me up. I don't know what to wear, so I lay out 4 different outfits on the floor as if they're chalk outlines of people. A car horn honks 10 minutes later, and I still haven't decided on an outfit. Maybe I'll just wear all of them.